Chapter 91, Deduced Again, the Holy Dragon Golden Light Art, the Starry Holy Dragon Body Refining AR. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Tell me what aspects of the techniques you want to improve or what effects you want to add. The system will upgrade the techniques according to your specifications. Okay, so Guhan wants to upgrade the Holy Dragon Technique, the Golden Holy Dragon Meditation Technique, and the Holy Dragon Body Forging Technique. The Tianyen system's cold, mechanical voice piped up again. Okay, for the Holy Dragon Technique, boost the training speed and add abilities to strengthen and protect the body. For the Golden Holy Dragon Meditation Technique, improve the speed of mental power training and boost multitasking. And for the Holy Dragon Body Forging Technique, make training Qi and blood more efficient, adding a defensive layer, and refine the whole Qi and blood system so I can get strength on par with a title Douluo just by using my body's power, Guhan thought, relaying his desires to the system. Ding! Request received. Consuming 9 Tianyen points. Deducing now. The system's cold, mechanical voice echoed in his head. This deduction and upgrade took way longer than the previous one. Half an hour ticked by. The Tianyen system's voice finally broke the silence again. Ding. Congratulations. A new soul power cultivation technique has been developed. Cultivation speed is estimated to increase tenfold compared to the Holy Dragon technique. Besides that speed boost, this technique will also strengthen the body and absorb light power from the world, solidifying into a body-protecting holy light. Please name this soul power cultivation method. Ding! Congrats! The new body refining technique is complete. Expect higher efficiency in cultivating Qi and blood. You can also absorb starlight to temper your body and boost defense. The Qi and blood realm will feature a Qi and blood wolf smoke realm and a Qi and blood golden elixir realm. Reaching the Qi and blood golden elixir realm enables you to physically fight a title Douluo. Please name this body refining technique. Ding! Great job! The new spiritual power cultivation method is finished. The efficiency of spiritual power cultivation will be higher and your multitasking skills will improve. Name this spiritual power cultivation method. 3 huge bursts of information flooded Guhan's mind. These were the specifics of the new soul power, body training, and spiritual power techniques. The soul power cultivation technique, beyond boosting speed and strengthening the body, it could also absorb light and condense it into a body-protecting holy light. Guhan's mouth twitched. Does the body protection thing have to look so much like a golden light spell? He decided to call the new soul power cultivation method, Holy Dragon Golden Light Art. Compared to the name Holy Dragon Art, which sounded like Xiantian Art or Xixia Divine Art, Holy Dragon Golden Light Art sounded much fancier, like Chongqing Art. As for the new body refining method, Starlight Tempering and Improved Defense, Guhan named it, Starry Holy Dragon Body Refining Method, and the new Mental Power Cultivation Method. The visualization now involved a 9-headed golden dragon, flying around between heaven and earth. Guhan named it, 9-headed golden dragon flying and lying on the ground refining method, or 9-headed golden dragon refining method for short. System, design a pupil technique and a mental power attack method for me. After upgrading the Holy Dragon skill, Holy Dragon Body Refining Method, and Golden Holy Dragon Visualization Method, Guhan asked for more. He wanted a pupil technique and a mental power attack. The pupil technique should have eagle eyes, insight, subtlety, illusion breaking, and attack abilities after mastering it, and the mental power attack needed to directly target the enemy's soul efficiently, causing damage. It also needed to be able to confuse the target, trap them in an illusion, kill them in the illusion, and even cause brain death. After the system got to work, 10 minutes later, Guhan had a pupil technique and a mental attack. Maybe it was because his martial soul, the Holy Dragon, was a golden dragon with the ultimate light attribute. Whatever the reason, the pupil technique the Tianyen system devised involved absorbing sunlight. It was the same as the purple extreme demon pupil at first, only absorbed the sunrise, then twilight, and finally, the midday sun. Guhan named it, Fiery Sun Golden Pupil. The mental attack fully satisfied his demands. It could directly attack the enemy's soul efficiently, damage it, confuse the target, trap them in illusions, kill them, and cause brain death, and it could even alter the target's memories through the illusion. Gu Han had heavily referenced Huang Yi's mental powers from his previous life's martial arts world when making requests, so he named it, Heaven-Changing and Earth-Strike Great Method. But the golden eyes of the sun and Heaven-Changing and Earth-Strike Great Method were harder to create than the original Holy Dragon skill, Golden Holy Dragon Meditation Method, and Holy Dragon Bodybuilding Method, so, this time, it cost him 2 and 3 Tianyen points respectively. Gu Han now had 12 Tianyen points left, which he thought was still a decent amount. After a bit of thought, he spent 5 and 4 Tianyen points, respectively, to further optimize his physique and soul. His perfect body was now an innate body, his meridians were fully open, and he could passively absorb spiritual energy from the world, and his perfect soul had been upgraded to Yin Shen, allowing him to leave his body and enter dreams, but only at night. Done. He'd used 13 of the 26 Tianyen points he started with. Gu Han, satisfied, got ready to sleep, planning to leave the Yin-Yang Eye of Ice and Fire in the morning and return to Tiandou Imperial City. The next day, bright and early, Gu Han left the mountain with the Yin-Yang Eye of Ice and Fire with Ziji in tow, flying back to Tiandou Imperial City on the Holy Spirit Dragon. Once back in Tiandou, Gu Han didn't go to Tiandou Royal Academy. He took Ziji straight to Dugubo's mansion. Chapter 92. Returning to Tiandou Imperial City. I, Gu Han, am not a small fry. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Dugu Xian, salute the master. Gu Han led Ziji to the Dugu estate. Dugu Xian, having fully recovered from the detoxification pill, his face now full of color, bowed deeply to Gu Han upon seeing him again. Uncle Xian, no need for formalities. Where's Senior Dugubo? Gu Han said, hurrying forward to help him up. Father's in secluded practice. Would you like to see him, master? Dugu Xian asked respectfully. Yes, please. Gu Han nodded with a smile. Then, if you'll wait in the main hall, I'll go fetch him now. Dugu Xian ushered Gu Han and Ziji into the reception hall, where maids promptly served tea and refreshments. Soon, Dugubo hurried in, his footsteps echoing. Dugubo greets the master, and His Majesty Zilong. Entering the hall, Dugubo's typically sinister face was etched with respect as he bowed slightly to both Gu Han and Ziji. Master, what can I do for you? Nothing much, really. I just brought you something. Gu Han chuckled, retrieving a small jade bottle from his Su Ming ring. Dugubo had already respectfully offered control of the Yin-Yang Eyes of Ice and Fire Medicine Garden to Gu Han, expressing his gratitude for saving Dugu Xian from the green phosphorus poison. He said Gu Han was now his master, but Gu Han wasn't like those ingrates who took everything and gave nothing back. When the immortal herbs and spiritual medicines from the Yin-Yang Eyes of Ice and Fire were refined into pills, Gu Han remembered Dugubo's family and specifically prepared pills for them. The pill, named Hualong Pill, Dragon Transformation Pill, was made from dragon grass, 9th grade purple Ganoderma, and earth dragon ginseng. It was formulated to purify dragon blood and allow beast martial souls with dragon blood to evolve. 3 pills were refined in total. Compared to the Shenglong Pill, Dragon Ascension Pill, he made for Ziji, which used immortal grass and dragon gourd as the main ingredients, the Hualong Pill was weaker. Gu Han figured it would likely only allow the green phosphorus snake to evolve into a green phosphorus poison dragon. Still, it was a gesture of good faith. After handing the jade bottle containing the dragon transformation pill to Dugubo, Gu Han smiled and explained its effects. Dugubo was stunned, hardly believing his ears. And deeply moved. Master, this dragon transformation pill can actually evolve a dragon martial soul. Such a precious item. And you still think of our Dugu family? We truly haven't misjudged you. Since Senior Dugubo and the Bailan family have acknowledged me as their master, I won't treat you unfairly. Gu Han smiled. Besides, the Yin-Yang Eye of Ice and Fire originally belonged to your family. Master, you can't say that. Dugubo said earnestly. The detoxification pill you made saved Xianer's life and freed Yan Yan and me from the threat of the green phosphorus poison. You saved our entire family. We, the Dugu family, can never repay you. That medicine garden was the only thing of value to you, and we should have offered it as a reward for saving our lives. So, the medicine garden and its herbs are yours, master. And you used those herbs to create such a precious pill, not forgetting our Dugu family and even preparing 3 pills for us. Your kindness is beyond repayment, even if we were torn apart. All right. Senior Dugu, take the pill. Gu Han said, pleased by Dugu Bo's fealty, and urged him to take the dragon transformation pill. Senior Dugu, your current cultivation is at level 89. After taking this dragon transformation pill and evolving the Jade Phosphorus Snake King martial soul, you should break through to level 90. In a secluded chamber, Dugu Bo sat cross-legged on a cushion. Under the watchful eyes of Gu Han, Ziji, and Dugu Xian, Dugu Bo removed a dragon transformation pill from the jade bottle, swallowed it, closed his eyes, and began to refine the pill. A dazzling purple-green light radiated from Dugu Bo's body, a slender, immense green snake, with a triangular head and an exceptionally poisonous look, and a jade crown on its head, materialized behind Dugu Bo. Under the dragon transformation pill's influence, the Jade Phosphorus Snake King martial soul behind Dugu Bo started to transform, its body elongated and grew larger, its head morphed into a dragon's head with horns, and finally, sharp claws sprouted from its abdomen. It had evolved from the Jade Phosphorus Snake King into the Jade Phosphorus Poison Dragon. Jade Phosphorus Snake King, conceptual picture. Jade Phosphorus Poison Dragon, conceptual picture. Simultaneously, Dugu Bo's cultivation broke through from level 89 to level 90, crossing the threshold to become a title Douluo. Dugu Bo opened his eyes, his sinister face alight with excitement. He had finally broken through to level 90. He, Dugu Bo, had surpassed the historical limits of their Jade Phosphorus family. He was the only title Douluo in the Jade Phosphorus family's history. Congratulations, Senior Dugu Bo. Gu Han said, smiling, once Dugu Bo's martial soul had finished evolving and he had broken through to level 90. Dugu Bo's breakthrough is all thanks to you, master. Dugu Bo said respectfully, bowing deeply to Gu Han to suppress his excitement. Even without me, Senior Dugu, you would still have broken through to level 90. Gu Han said, not taking credit, and simply smiled. Since Dugu Bo had broken through to level 90, Gu Han decided to help him all the way. He prepared to take Ziji to help Dugu Bo hunt for his 9th soul ring. Before that, however, he needed to return to the Tiandou Royal Academy. He needed to find out if his beloved sister Xueer had come looking for him. Therefore, Gu Han asked Dugu Bo to consider what kind of soul beast he wanted to hunt for his 9th soul ring. Then, he took Ziji back to the Tiandou Royal Academy. Upon Gu Han's return to the Tiandou Royal Academy, soon, Mengxinji arrived with Jilin and Bai Baoshan. Chapter 93 Hug Sister Xueer, That Kiss. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hey, what can I do for you? 3 members of the Education Committee. Gu Han was helping Ziji clean when Mengxinji, Bai Baoshan, and Jilin showed up. He'd just gotten back to his place. He'd been gone for days, and the courtyard was covered in fallen leaves. Dust coated everything inside, the rooms, the living area, the study. It was uninhabitable until it was cleaned. He hadn't expected the Education Committee members to drop by like this. He immediately stopped what he was doing and went to greet them with Ziji. Mengxinji and the others bowed respectfully to Ziji. Your Majesty Zilong. When Gu Han asked what brought them there, Mengxinji stroked his beard and chuckled. Actually, it's no big deal. The real reason these 3 old-timers came was because the eldest prince, Xue Qinghe, had been asking for Gu Han lately, sending maids to the Royal Academy for days. Gu Han wasn't around because he and Dugu Bo were at the Ice and Fire Yinyang well. Dugu Bo had Dugu Yen tell them Gu Han was with him, taking a leave to cultivate. They'd approved it without a second thought. Gu Han wasn't just any student. He was already a soul master when he enrolled, meeting graduation requirements. They'd made an exception to admit him because of his incredible potential and wanting to befriend him, plus having Ziji, the title Douluo, behind him. At the academy, Gu Han was practically royalty. They wouldn't interfere even if he skipped classes to hang out in the Imperial city, as long as he didn't cause trouble. Plus, he had Dugu Bo, a powerful soul Douluo, backing him up. Hearing that Gu Han needed to retreat for a while, they had no problems with it. they just wanted to let him know the eldest prince, Xue Qinghe, had been trying to reach him. Otherwise, they worried the prince might send another maid looking for Gu Han that afternoon, only to find he'd already left. The eldest prince wants to see me. Gu Han's mind raced upon learning Xue Qinghe had sent maids to the Royal Academy multiple times. He smiled and said, "Is the eldest prince sending someone again today?" "Got it. You three can relax, I'm staying here today." After the education committee members left, Gu Han and Ziji resumed cleaning. Once done, Gu Han practiced the newly improved Starry Holy Dragon Body Refining Method in the courtyard. The upgrade from the Holy Dragon Body Refining Method was significantly better at converting qi and blood. This time, Gu Han was also converting the life force and the gold of living beings into qi and blood by absorbing it. Just an hour of the Starry Holy Dragon Body Refining Method yielded the same amount of converted qi and blood as a whole morning of the Holy Dragon Body Refining Method. Soon, afternoon arrived. A fancy carriage pulled up from the Imperial city to the foot of the mountain where the Royal Academy was located. A tall girl in a snow-white dress, with long golden hair and delicate features, Qian Renxue, stepped out and headed up the steps to the academy. She entered the academy and made her way to Gu Han's courtyard. Seeing the gate open, she felt relieved and smiled. She'd come by several times before, but no one was there. It seemed Gu Han was finally back. Sister Xueer, Gu Han, still in the yard, was practicing the Holy Dragon Spear technique with his golden spear. He practiced the spear technique extensively in Wuhuan City. He'd pretty much mastered all the moves. However, he hadn't tried combining all the techniques and soul power flow at the same time to execute them. The more advanced the martial arts, the more complex the soul power flow. Compared to the spear techniques, the soul power flow was the most complicated part. Trying to use low-level cultivation to perform high-level techniques would drain his soul power, potentially injuring him. Back in Wuhuan City, Gu Han had only mastered the fourth form of the Holy Dragon Spear technique, Dragon Startling Spear. Now, after another cultivation breakthrough, the Holy Dragon of Wuhuan had finally reached the size of a giant dragon. In the future, he could stand on its back and fight with the Golden Dragon Spear. So, Gu Han was eagerly practicing, hoping to master the technique more proficiently. Ideally, he could control the spear intention of the Holy Dragon Spear as quickly as possible. He spotted Qian Renxue while practicing. He immediately stopped, put away the spear, and went to greet her happily. Sister Xueer. After Qian Renxue entered the courtyard, Gu Han reached out and used his soul power to close the gate, then hugged her tightly. Inhaling the fresh scent of her hair and feeling her soft body, Gu Han was filled with longing. Sister Xueer, I missed you so much. Oh, you missed me, did you? Gu Han loosened his hold, raised his head, and looked at her slightly flushed face with a teasing smile. Qian Renxue stared at his handsome face, feeling emotional. She really wanted to say, I missed you too, but she felt shy about saying such a thing. Blushing, she hesitated, then said softly, I missed you too. Immediately, she quickly changed the subject. Gu Han, people are watching. Let's go inside. Ziji isn't a stranger, Gu Han said with a smile. Nearby, seeing Gu Han and Qian Renxue hugging, a hint of envy crossed Ziji's face, but she didn't say anything. She turned and walked toward the house, leaving the courtyard to them. As a soul beast, Ziji was more accepting of such things than humans, whether in the soul beast clan or the dragon clan. It was normal for powerful males to have multiple mates. Ziji could accept Gu Han having more than one woman. Compared to Qian Renxue, she knew she came later, and, given her background, that she didn't intend to compete for his attention. As long as Gu Han cared for her, it was enough. Okay. Ziji's gone now. After Ziji went inside, Gu Han looked at Qian Renxue again. Although she'd said she missed him, it was barely audible. Gu Han pretended not to hear and asked eagerly, Sister Xueer, you still haven't answered me. Do you miss me? Qian Renxue blushed and remained silent. Gu Han pretended to think, looked sad, clutched his heart, and sighed. Sister Xueer, you didn't answer and just changed the subject. It seems you still don't miss me. Guess I was wrong to think so much. It really hurts. Gu Han looked heartbroken. Seeing him being so dramatic made Qian Renxue both amused and irritated. She crossed her arms and said arrogantly, looks like you're right. I don't miss you. Who'd miss a jerk like you? Ah, Gu Han pretended to faint and fell into her arms. I'm so sad, I need a kiss from a beautiful princess, that he moaned and peeked at her with one eye. Qian Renxue found it hilarious, he really knew how to act. But when he did this, she felt a lot of the pressure accumulated while pretending to be Xue Qinghe lift, a sense of relief washed over her. Maybe he was just trying to help her relax. Qian Renxue was touched, and her eyes softened with affection. Fine, I can't resist you, you jerk. I'll give you a break, that she muttered and prepared to give him a gentle kiss on the cheek, but as she lowered her head, Gu Han, lying in her arms, pretended to be unconscious but flashed a cunning look. He suddenly raised his head and kissed her lips. Qian Renxue's eyes widened in surprise. Chapter 94 Chicken is a gift to Qian Renxue because you are so beautiful. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 94, Chicken. Because you're so beautiful. A gift for Qian Renxue. Gu Han's sudden kiss caught Qian Renxue completely off guard, her eyes widening in surprise. Everything seemed to swim for a moment, then, snapping back to reality, a wave of embarrassment flooded her face. She pushed Gu Han away, lightly tapping his chest with a flushed face. You're such a jerk, always taking advantage. Gu Han simply shrugged, his eyes locked on her beautiful face, and said with a grin, I can't help it. You're just too gorgeous, Xueer. Like that saying goes, chicken, because you're so beautiful. You're just digging yourself a deeper hole with that cheesy line. That it wasn't that she was against things progressing with Gu Han, but the unexpected kiss had left Qian Renxue flustered. It stirred up a mix of shyness, annoyance, and a surprising sweetness. After all, if Gu Han didn't react to her, it would feel like he didn't appreciate her charms at all. It's just been too long, Xueer. I've missed you terribly. I want to be with you always, from now on. Gu Han continued his shameless pursuit, his eyes filled with affection, softly expressing his feelings for her. Qian Renxue blushed and playfully scolded, You idiot, did you misspeak or did you do that on purpose? Come together. He's got a dirty mind. Yet, despite the suggestive words, Gu Han's heartfelt expression warmed Qian Renxue to her core. Under the shade of a leafy tree in the courtyard, they sat close, holding hands, and recounted everything that had happened since they last saw each other. Of course, Gu Han left out a few details, like his trip to the Starry forest to warn Xiao Wu's family, averting Bibi Dong's planned hunt, and his encounter with the Silver Dragon King, Gu Yuna. He kept it all to himself. It wasn't a matter of distrusting Qian Renxue. Those events were just too complex and difficult to explain. As for Ziji, Gu Han simply said she was from a powerful, secluded family. The patriarch had recognized his immense talent and potential and sent Ziji to be his protector. In return, when he came of age, he'd help the patriarch of Ziji's family with certain tasks, and that wasn't a lie. You left Wuhuan City to explore on your own. With your talent, didn't she send anyone to protect you, like Elder Ju or Elder Gui? Or my grandfather? Qian Renxue frowned slightly. Nope. Gu Han smiled and shook his head casually. You're her disciple. How could she do that, and your grandfather? Qian Renxue felt indignant on Gu Han's behalf. As Bibi Dong's disciple, Gu Han's spirit had evolved into the Golden Holy Dragon, making him arguably the most brilliant genius of their generation in the Spirit Hall. Why wouldn't Bibi Dong, as his teacher, assign protectors to Gu Han when he ventured out? She could understand that woman acting like that, but her grandfather? Hadn't he already acknowledged Gu Han? Qian Renxue was furious. She'd have a word with her grandfather, Qian Douluo, when she returned to Wuhuan City. As the chief priest of the Spirit Hall, how could he neglect the safety of their geniuses? Oh, by the way, Xueer, I have a gift for you. Seeing Qian Renxue's anger over his safety touched Gu Han's heart. He chuckled mysteriously, took her hand, and led her toward the quiet room inside the house. A gift? What is it? Qian Renxue asked, full of curiosity. Once inside the room, Gu Han retrieved an exquisite small jade bottle from his storage soul tool, the Xiaogang ring, and handed it to Qian Renxue with a smile. This is... Qian Renxue stared at the bottle, puzzled. Open it and see, Xueer. Qian Renxue uncorked the bottle and found a golden pill inside, radiating a faint golden glow. For some reason, she felt a sudden, powerful urge coming from the seraphim spirit within her. This. Qian Renxue gasped. Whatever this was, it wasn't ordinary. It was capable of stirring up her seraphim spirit. Gu Han smiled. It's a holy spirit pill. I made it with a fairy herb called Holy Light Firefly Lily as the main ingredient. You might not know what a pill is yet. But during my visit to Elder Ju in Wuhuan City, I read in an ancient herbal book passed down in his family that this herb can evolve light attribute spirits. Even though your spirit is the six-winged angel, a divine spirit of the highest order, the Holy Light Firefly Lily might not be enough to evolve it. But I used it as the main ingredient to make the Holy Spirit pill, making it much more effective than just using the lily alone. It should be able to evolve your spirit. Spirit, evolve? Qian Renxue was stunned. This little pill could evolve her six-winged angel spirit. It sounded unbelievable. But, trusting Gu Han and feeling the powerful urge from her spirit, she knew it was likely true. Take the pill now, Xueer. I'll protect you. Following Gu Han's instructions, Qian Renxue sat cross-legged in the quiet room, took the Holy Spirit pill with anticipation, and swallowed it whole. Then, she closed her eyes and began to refine it. Instantly, dazzling golden light exploded from her body. In the light, a six-winged angel, seemingly formed of golden holy light, emerged behind her. It had 3 pairs of broad golden wings, long golden hair, and the same appearance as Qian Renxue. Under the influence of the Holy Spirit pill, the angel's form and clothes began to transform, becoming more regal and divine. At the same time, a new pair of golden wings sprouted from its back. The 6-winged angel had become an 8-winged angel. Gu Han, thank you. Having successfully refined the Holy Spirit pill, she discovered that her spirit had evolved from a 6-winged to an 8-winged angel, and her cultivation had jumped from level 52 to level 56, a full 4 levels. Deeply moved, Qian Renxue leaped up and threw herself into Gu Han's arms, hugging him tightly. She didn't know the exact properties of the pill, but it had evolved her god-level spirit and boosted her cultivation so drastically. It was an incredibly precious treasure. Gu Han's willingness to give it to her touched her deeply. Meanwhile, back in Wuhuan City, in the Douluo Hall, in the main hall, where the statue of the angel god stood, Tiandou, as a priest of the angel god, was sitting cross-legged on a cushion, facing the towering, sacred statue, his eyes closed in meditation. Suddenly, the angel god statue burst into a dazzling golden light. The light formed a beam, piercing the dome of the Douluo Palace and shooting into the sky. Tiandou was immediately alerted. The great angel god has chosen a successor. He exclaimed, rising to his feet in shock. The inheritance books of the Qian family had never recorded the angel god statue emitting such light before the god test. There was only one explanation: the angel god had chosen a successor. But who? Xueer, is it you? Tiandou muttered, thinking of Qian Renxue, far away in the Tiandou Empire. What have you done to trigger the great angel god to choose you as the successor before your grandfather even begins the god test? Chapter 95 Countdown to Xiaogang #039, S appearance, Tiandou Royal Hunting Conference. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Tiandou never saw it coming. The reason Qian Renxue had unexpectedly alerted the angel god and drawn its attention was because of Gu Han, a yellow man he strongly disliked, and this strange phenomenon in Douluo Palace instantly caught the attention of Bibi Dong, in the Pope's palace on the same hill. No way. In a magnificent palace, Bibi Dong, wearing a dark purple robe and a tall crown, stood up, papal scepter in hand, and looked out the window, her beautiful eyes wide with surprise and uncertainty. Such a powerful aura of light, could it be Qian's doing, or? That's the angel god's aura. The angel enshrined in your spirit hall has chosen its successor. A seductive, cold voice echoed in Bibi Dong's mind, the remnant soul of the Rakshasa god living within her. The angel god has chosen a successor. Bibi Dong frowned, thinking of the girl she hated, far away in the Tiandou Empire. Could it be her? But if it was, why hadn't the angel god chosen her back in Spirit City? What if someone else intercepts the inheritance of this angel? Bibi Dong's lips curled into a sneer of dark joy. That would be perfect. However, Bibi Dong didn't dwell on the matter. While she craved revenge on Spirit Hall and the Qian family, she never intended to destroy them herself. If she did, the angel god wouldn't stand by idly, so she chose to make Spirit Hall the enemy of the entire continent. From the Rakshasa god, she learned that Douluo Continent held many inheritance sites for other gods, and many gods had a stake in Douluo Continent. These gods would never allow Spirit Hall to unify the continent, especially the Xueer god. Having visited Killing City, Bibi Dong knew the Rakshasa god, whose power she inherited, was a mortal enemy of the Xueer god. With her, the Rakshasa god's successor, in Spirit Hall, God Xueer would never let the Hall unify the continent, giving God Rakshasa the faith of the entire land. In that scenario, her plan to lead Spirit Hall to unify the continent would likely fail. By that time, Spirit Hall would be at its peak, with nowhere to retreat. They would be backed against a cliff. If they retreated, Spirit Hall, the Qian family, and she herself would face annihilation. Yes, and her, but she didn't care. Still, despite her self-destructive tendencies, Bibi Dong wasn't completely indifferent. At least where Xiaogang was concerned, she harbored a sick, twisted affection. Pushing aside the vision in the Douluo Hall, Bibi Dong thought of her beloved prisoner once more, frowning slightly. Ever since I cut off Xiaohan's training resources, I've been gathering light attribute dragon soul beasts and various elixirs for months. But the number of dragon soul beasts and elixirs is nowhere near enough to meet the standards for Xiaohan. Allowing Xiaogang to evolve Sanpao into a golden holy dragon, it'll take another year or two to gather them. And for Xiaogang's Sanpao to transform, he needs a top-tier elixir, like crystal blood dragon ginseng. This is a pain. Bibi Dong felt a headache coming on. After Gu Han successfully evolved his holy dragon into the golden holy dragon, she sent people to search for Xiaogang. After months, she finally found him. Her beloved Xiaogang was working as a teacher at a junior soul master academy called Nodding Academy, but before she could gather enough flesh, blood, and elixirs from light attribute dragon soul beasts to help her beloved Xiaogang's Luo Sanpao evolve, she didn't dare face her beloved Xiaogang. Meanwhile, at Tiandou Royal Academy. In Gu Han's courtyard, after Qian Renxue took the Holy Spirit pill, her spirit evolved from a 6-winged angel to an 8-winged one. She hugged Gu Han tightly, expressing her gratitude. Suddenly, a golden light descended from the sky, landing on Qian Renxue. It gathered on her forehead, condensing into 9 golden feather marks. The 9 angel trials. Gu Han was stunned. The 9 trials for an angel. Didn't that happen in the novel when Qian Renxue took the divine test under Qian Daolu's guidance? Qian Daolu wasn't even here. Could it still trigger the trials? Gu Han was confused. However, he guessed it was probably because Qian Renshue's spirit evolved from a 6-winged to an 8-winged angel. Sister Xueer, how do you feel? Is any information flooding your mind? Seeing the angel trial mark on Qian Renshue's forehead, Gu Han asked curiously, but Qian Renxue shook her head, confused, and touched her forehead. No. Xiaohan, do you know what's going on? No information about the divine trial? It seems the angel god only marked Qian Renxue. She probably needs to return to Spirit City and be guided by Qian Daolu for the trial to officially begin. Gu Han thought to himself. If I remember correctly, that should be the great angel god worshipped by our Spirit Hall. He's showing you favor, Sister Xueer. I saw something about it in the classics room. Soul masters like you, Sister Xueer, who inherit the 6-winged angel spirit, will be tested by the great angel god upon reaching adulthood. Passing the test brings great rewards. But the book said it needs to be done in Spirit City, in front of the statue that connects to the great angel god. You're probably the only one favored by the great angel god outside of Spirit City. Gu Han chuckled, explaining briefly. You just know how to flatter me. It must be because of the Holy Spirit pill you gave me, evolving my spirit and attracting the great angel god's attention. Qian Renxue knew what was happening and rested her beautiful face against Gu Han's chest, whispering with happiness. After a while of tenderness. As it grew late, Qian Renxue had to leave. Before she left, Qian Renxue told Gu Han the purpose of Xue Qinghe's visit. 3 days later, the Tiandou royal family would hold its triennial hunting meeting. Nominally, the hunting meeting was for Emperor Xue, but in reality, it gave the three princes, Xue Qinghe, Xue Luochuan, and Xue Haizang, a chance to show off their abilities. At the meeting, the three princes would bring guests and soul masters to hunt together. The prey hunted by the guests and soul masters would be recorded in the princes' names and announced publicly. This would display the prince's strength. Because Gu Han was a powerful guest and soul master under Xue Qinghe, Xue Qinghe naturally planned to invite him to the Tiandou royal hunting meeting. Chapter 96 Qian Renxue #039, S Replacement Plan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Gu Han was taken aback when Xue Qinghe invited him to the Tiandou royal hunting conference. This asterisk was where, if he remembered right, his beloved sister Xueer would kill Xue Qinghe and use an angel's soul bone to disguise herself as him. I'll be there, Gu Han said, snapping back to reality and smiling at Qian Renxue. Should I meet you at the Grand Prince's mansion, or just wait outside the royal hunting grounds? Qian Renxue smiled and said that Xue Qinghe would send someone to pick him up. Then, as if struck by a sudden idea, she hesitated. Gu Han, there's something else I need to tell you. I'm planning to kill Xue Qinghe and take his place at the hunting conference. She hadn't really wanted to tell him this, at least not before it was done. She knew Gu Han was cut from the same cloth as her. She knew that a general success came at a cost, that achieving something great required sacrifice. But she'd still feel awful doing it. As part of the Spirit Hall's plan, Qian Renxue knew she needed to replace Xue Qinghe to unify the continent, bring real peace, and give civilians a better future. Replacing him and controlling the Tiandou Empire, uniting the continent with the Tiandou army and the Spirit Hall's soul masters, that would mean the fewest sacrifices. But after living as Xue Qinghe for a couple of years, Qian Renxue had to admit he was a good person, practically a saint. Killing him felt wrong. If she asked for Gu Han's help in planning the murder, he'd feel terrible, too, but since Xue Qinghe had invited Gu Han to the hunting conference, and Gu Han had accepted, the truth would come out anyway. So Qian Renxue decided to spill the beans. Kill Xue Qinghe and take his place. So, what's the plan, Xueer? Gu Han asked, unsurprised. Qian Renxue sighed and laid out her plan, using a rare beast-attracting incense to lure soul beasts. She'd sprinkle it on Xue Qinghe's clothes. Once inside the hunting grounds, Xue Qinghe, now reeking of the stuff, would attract a horde of soul beasts. His team would fight them off to give him a chance to escape. She'd stick close and, when they were alone, strike, killing Xue Qinghe and taking his place. No one would suspect a thing. They'd just think Xue Qinghe survived a soul beast attack. His maid, Xueer, would have heroically sacrificed herself to protect him, making for a touching story. It's a solid plan, Xueer, Gu Han said after a moment, but it's got a few holes. First, the incense. It's rare, but enough people know about it to recognize the smell. The hunting conference is in 3 days. Emperor Xue and the three princes, including Xue Qinghe, will bring their strongest guests and soul masters. What if one of them sniffs out the incense? It's risky. Qian Renxue knew all this, but felt stuck. She could only pull this off with her own strength, unless she used the Spirit Hall's power, which risked exposure. Actually, Gu Han said with a smile, his tone shifting, you don't need the incense. I've got a way to trigger the soul beast riot perfectly. Since you've told me something this important, I'll help you out. Compared to the incense, Gu Han had a much better idea. He had ZG, a 200,000-year-old beast, right by his side. Why not have ZG control the hunting grounds soul beasts to attack Xue Qinghe? He would help Xueer finish the job. She didn't know how Gu Han would trigger the riot without the incense. Even after she asked, he just smiled mysteriously and kept it a secret, but Qian Renxue trusted Gu Han. Worst case, she could wait for another opportunity. In her heart, Gu Han had become more important than the Spirit Hall's plan. 3 days flew by. The day of the Tiandou Royal Hunting Conference arrived. Early on, Xue Qinghe sent a fancy carriage to pick up Gu Han. This time, Gu Han didn't bring ZG. Starting from the base of the mountain where the Tiandou Royal Academy stood, Gu Han's carriage brought him to the Grand Prince's mansion in the Tiandou royal family compound. A crowd had already gathered outside the prince's residence. They were clustered around tall, majestic horses with scales and a single horn, stroking them in awe. These were horned scale horses, half-soul beast hybrids born from a one-horned dragon lizard and a horse. With strength, speed, and endurance far beyond ordinary horses, they were the mounts of choice for top knights in empires, kingdoms, and principalities. Gu Han, you made it. Seeing Gu Han's carriage, Xue Qinghe, with Qian Renxue, smiled and strode over. Your Highness, are those horned scale horses? Gu Han asked, getting out of the carriage, interest piqued. Indeed. We'll ride them to the hunting grounds, Xue Qinghe chuckled. You can hunt straight from horseback. But these horses have dragon lizard blood in them, so they're a little temperamental. If you like one, Gu Han, you'd better tame it first. No problem. Gu Han grinned and walked to the tallest horse, releasing a sliver of his dragon aura. Sensing the golden dragon's presence, the horned scale horse, with its trace of dragon blood, trembled and bowed respectfully. The surrounding soul masters gasped. This guy was that powerful. It had taken them a while to tame their horses. But this guy had just made one submit. Awesome. But they knew from Xue Qinghe that Gu Han was no ordinary soul sect, a powerful one with a top-tier dragon martial spirit. Since the horned scale horse had dragon blood, it would definitely be affected by the dragon spirit. After Gu Han arrived and a while passed, after all 30 guest ministers and their soul masters had arrived who were going to take them to the Tiandou royal family hunting conference. Xue Qinghe, now clad in gleaming armor, mounted his own horned scale horse, ready to lead Gu Han and the others to the hunting grounds. Qian Renxue rode beside him, also on a horned scale horse. The group left the Tiandou Imperial city at a quick pace, led by Xue Qinghe. After about half an hour, they arrived at the royal hunting ground. The place was already packed. Most conspicuous was Emperor Xue, mounted on his own horned scale horse, wearing a silver crown robe and a bright red cape. Tall, with white hair and a beard, he cut a majestic figure. The 3 members of the Tiandou Education Committee were following him, and behind them stretched a sea of royal knights, fully armed and mounted on horned scale horses. Chapter 97, the second Prince Xue Luochuan and the third Prince Xue Haizang, the hunting competition. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In front of the Tiandou royal hunting ground, Emperor Xue stood before a vast line of royal knights. Flanking them were 2 other groups of knights astride horn-scaled horses. These were the retinues of the second prince, Xue Luochuan, and the third prince, Xue Haizang, each consisting of 30 guests and soul masters. The moment Xue Qinghe arrived, both Xue Luochuan and Xue Haizang spurred their mounts forward. The 2 younger princes were quite different in temperament from their elder brother, Xue Qinghe. While Xue Qinghe possessed the gentle, refined air of a classic gentleman, Xue Luochuan was known for his arrogance. However, his wasn't a blanket arrogance. He held those without ability in contempt while showing deference to those with proven skills. Xue Haizang, though younger, was a straightforward and decisive individual with the heart of a general. His ambition was to become a leading commander in the Tiandou Empire, conquering new territories and expanding its borders. Despite the Tiandou royal family's relatively weak martial spirit lineage, making powerful soul masters rare, their internal education was still top-notch. At least, that's Gu Han's opinion. From the eldest prince, Xue Qinghe, to the third prince, Xue Haizang, and even the young fourth prince, Xue Bang, still learning to walk, all seemed destined for greatness. As Xue Qinghe approached on his horn-scaled horse, he met Xue Luochuan and Xue Haizang, who had also ridden up to greet him. The 3 princes exchanged smiles, presenting a picture of harmony, but beneath the surface, a fierce verbal sparring match ensued regarding the hunting competition. Emperor Xue intervened, cutting short their exchange and sending each prince back to their respective groups. He then gave a speech, officially opening the Tiandou Royal Hunting Conference. Meanwhile, outside the hunting ground, a crowd of nobles and ministers from Tiandou Imperial City had gathered to watch the spectacle. In the entertainment-starved world of Douluo Continent, spirit battles were a form of recreation. The Tiandou Royal Hunting Conference was a grand display of the 3 princes vying for favor, showcasing their martial prowess and the strength of their followers, supporters of each prince, along with undecided nobles and ministers. and everyday citizens and soul masters looking for excitement, had all come to observe and enjoy the show. I now declare the Tiandou Royal Hunting Conference officially open. At Emperor Xue Ye's proclamation, several royal knights dismounted and swung open the massive gates to the hunting grounds with a resounding boom. "Big brother, I'm heading in first." Seeing the gates open, Xue Luochuan, with a confident smirk, turned to Xue Qinghe, then, he addressed Gu Han. "You must be brother Gu Han, the brilliant new addition to the Tiandou Royal Academy. Someone of your caliber deserves to associate with those who are equally exceptional. This is a competition where I will prove that I, Xue Luochuan, am the best. Brother Gu Han, I'll see you later." With that, Xue Luochuan spurred his horn-scaled horse and charged into the Tiandou Royal Hunting Ground, followed by his 30 guests and soul masters. "Brother Gu Han, I'm Xue Haizang. I heard you appreciate fine tea. I recently acquired a batch of top-grade Bingwing tea and Jade Spring. We should get together sometime and enjoy a cup." Xue Haizang, riding behind Xue Luochuan, also smiled warmly at Gu Han before bidding farewell and leading his own entourage into the hunting ground. Despite both Xue Luochuan and Xue Haizang extending invitations to Gu Han, Xue Qinghe remained confident in Gu Han's loyalty and his own charm. His gentle smile never wavered. He even chuckled, teasing Gu Han. Brother Gu Han, it seems my brothers lack faith in me. But with you by my side, brother Gu Han, I have all the confidence I need." After all, he knew Gu Han had defeated a Soul Emperor-level teacher with a single punch upon joining the Tiandou Royal Academy. Within the Tiandou Royal Hunting Ground, the soul beasts raised by the royal family were, at most, only 10,000 years old. With Gu Han, acquiring the collars representing hunting points from these soul beasts shouldn't be a problem, provided they weren't too powerful. "Brother Gu Han, let's go." Following Xue Luochuan and Xue Haizang, Xue Qinghe, along with Gu Han, Qian Renxue, and their group of guests and soul masters, rode their horn-scaled horses and galloped into the Tiandou Royal Hunting Ground. The hunting ground was divided into 3 zones. The outermost zone was the training area, sparsely wooded with large open spaces. It served as a training ground and living quarters for the Tiandou Royal Knights. The second zone was the hunting area. The forest grew thicker here, though the roads remained clear. Lions, tigers, wolves, leopards, wild deer, bison, and wild sheep roamed the forests flanking the road. Beyond that lay the mountains. This was the soul hunting area, where soul beasts captured from various soul hunting forests were raised by the Tiandou royal family. While called a hunting conference, only the beasts in the hunting area could actually be hunted. These animals tested the hunting skills of the 3 princes and their soul masters. Each kill allowed the hunter to imprint their mark on the prey with a special seal. Royal knights would then track, count, and record the points. However, the points awarded for prey in the hunting area were relatively low. To score big, one had to venture into the soul hunting area. This area was inhabited solely by soul beasts. However, these soul beasts couldn't be killed indiscriminately. Otherwise, the Royal Hunting Conference would become a massacre. Capturing soul beasts from the major soul hunting forests was no easy task. If the Royal Hunting Conference occurred too often, the soul hunting area would quickly become depleted. Where would the royal family turn when low-level soul masters needed to hunt souls in the future? Therefore, soul beasts in the soul hunting area were only to be killed if one's life was in danger. So, how does one hunt soul beasts without killing them? The Tiandou royal family had been hosting the conference for years and had devised a solution. Before the conference began, Emperor Xue tasked the royal family's soul masters with entering the soul hunting area. They placed collars, each representing different point values based on the soul beast's cultivation level, onto the creatures they encountered. Thus, upon entering the soul hunting area, the goal was to subdue soul beasts wearing these point collars and remove the collars. Once outside, the points could be tallied. In this way, the hunting results of the 3 princes could be determined. Chapter 98 Soul Beast Riot. Xue Qinghe, I #039, am sorry. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After entering the Tiandou royal hunting grounds, Gu Han and the team galloped along the wide, straight road on horn-scaled horses. They quickly passed the Tiandou royal knights training area and entered the hunting area, where vast forests began to appear. The road still cut straight paths through them. In the distance, the mountains stretched endlessly, the domain where the royal family raised soul beasts. Your Highness, pray. Someone shouted, spotting a group of wild deer grazing on tender leaves at the forest's edge. Xue Qinghe, trained as a prince, was no slouch with a bow. He swiftly drew an arrow, aimed, and released, thwack, star, the arrow found its mark, felling a deer instantly, but also scattering the herd in a frenzy. The others followed suit, drawing their bows and loosing arrows, thwack. Thwack. Thwack, star, several more deer fell, but many arrows missed. After all, these soul masters, favored by Xue Qinghe, were mostly focused on cultivating their soul power and combat skills. Unless their martial soul was a bow or they served in the military, archery wasn't a priority. As everyone else took aim, Gu Han retrieved the bow Xue Qinghe had provided. Though he'd never practiced, he activated his pupil technique, golden eyes of the fiery sun, focusing his mental power, and locked onto several deer. He notched multiple arrows, thwack, star. 3 deer dropped instantly, Gu Han's arrows finding their targets. Brother Gu Han, impressive archery. Xue Qinghe exclaimed, astonished that Gu Han could fire multiple arrows simultaneously and hit every time. The soul masters around them shared his disbelief. Such skill was rare, even among soldiers. Your Highness, you flatter me, Gu Han replied with a smile, returning the bow to his horse. He was pleased with the eagle-eyed vision and mental lock-on provided by the golden eye of the fiery sun, especially considering he'd only been training for a few days. The results were already exceptional, and so, the hunt continued. Gu Han, Qian Renxue, Xue Qinghe, and the other soul masters rode onward in a grand procession. They encountered herds of wild cattle and sheep, rabbits, wolves, leopards, tigers, a wide array of prey. Each sighting brought a flurry of arrows. Gu Han, in particular, seemed to find his mark every time, quickly depleting his quiver. Ultimately, the hunt's outcome wouldn't determine the victor. Emperor Xue was simply testing the prince's skills and their soul master's abilities to gauge their military acumen and potential for earning the army's loyalty. However, the Douluo Continent's Tiandou Empire, having endured for over 2 millennia, had established a kind of inertia. Princes with even basic military skills could usually secure the army's support. The true test lay in the soul master's prowess. In this world, ordinary troops meant little without powerful soul masters. Emperor Xue himself could be felled by a skilled assassin in the midst of his army. The soul hunting area was where the real evaluation would occur. They soon reached the soul hunting area, which, like the soul hunting forest, was enclosed by a tall steel fence and guarded by a team of royal knights. Dismounting and entrusting their horses to the knights, Xue Qinghe presented his identity token as the eldest prince. The gate swung open, revealing the endless forest and distant mountains beyond. Gu Han's gaze deepened. ZG should be ready, he thought. Xue Qinghe and his entourage of 30-plus soul masters cautiously entered the soul hunting area's primeval forest, constantly scanning for soul beasts. When a marked beast appeared, a control-type soul master would immediately subdue it, allowing someone else to remove the score collar. Half a day passed quickly. The team ventured deep into the mountains, where they now encountered thousand-year soul beasts. As the royal hunting conference lasted until the next afternoon, Xue Qinghe wanted to maximize their chances and collect as many collars as possible. Meanwhile, on a nearby mountain, ZG spread her purple dragon wings and soared into the air. Before her, hundreds of thousand-year and even 10,000-year soul beasts knelt in submission. Having sensed Gu Han's presence, ZG commanded them to attack. Roar, star, the forest erupted as the beasts turned and charged towards Gu Han's location. What's happening? A soul master with Xue Qinghe's group felt the ground tremble and glanced around, confused. When he saw the mountains in the distance and the hundreds of massive beasts hurtling towards them, his face paled. Your Highness, a soul beast stampede. Run! We'll cover you. The soul masters yelled, summoning their martial souls and launching soul skills to try and stem the tide, but with fewer than 30 soul sect and soul emperor level soul masters, they stood little chance against 1,000 or more powerful beasts. Recognizing the danger, Xue Qinghe, panic rising, yelled for Qian Renxue and Gu Han to flee. Xueer, brother Gu Han, let's go. As the Soul Masters fought valiantly, Xue Qinghe grabbed Gu Han and Qian Renxue and started sprinting back towards the gate, but suddenly, Qian Renxue and Gu Han stopped. Xueer, brother Gu Han, what's wrong? Do you think it's safe here? Xue Qinghe asked, bewildered. We still need to reach the training area and get help from Father and the 3 education committee members. They need to rescue everyone, or else we're all in danger. Hearing this, Qian Renxue looked at Xue Qinghe, her eyes filled with a strange complexity. Xue Qinghe, she said, I'm sorry. Chapter 99 The end of Xue Qinghe, the birth of a new Xue Qinghe. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xue Qinghe. I'm sorry. Qian Renxue's words made Xue Qinghe freeze, a sudden sense of unease washing over him. She'd never addressed him like that before, and who just randomly apologizes for no reason. Plus, Gu Han and Qian Renxue had both stopped moving at the same time. Something was definitely off, things were abnormal. Xueer, what's wrong? Why the sudden apology? Xue Qinghe plastered a forced smile on his face, instinctively taking a few steps back. Your Highness, I owe you an apology. We've been lying to you for a long time. We're actually from Spirit Hall. Gu Han sighed, feeling like there was no point in hiding it anymore. What? Xue Qinghe's face went white. He couldn't believe Qian Renxue and Gu Han were both from Spirit Hall. Gu Han was one thing, but Xueer too. Xueer, you're also with Spirit Hall. His usually gentle face was etched with disbelief as he choked out the question. His heart ached. He remembered meeting Qian Renxue being chased by bandits. He'd sent his men to take care of the bandits, rescuing her. Qian Renxue had told him the bandits destroyed her village. Because he had saved her, avenged her parents, she was willing to work like a dog to repay her kindness. Only after her repeated pleas had he accepted her as a maid. Initially, he hadn't felt anything for her. Qian Renxue was beautiful, but as a prince, he was used to being around beautiful women. But as time went on, he realized how incredibly smart she was. She picked up everything he taught her, and sometimes seemed to understand him better than he understood himself. He'd started to think it was telepathy. He'd unconsciously developed feelings for her, but Qian Renxue only seemed focused on repaying him, not on any kind of romantic relationship. Being a gentleman, he didn't force it, keeping his feelings hidden. Now, the woman he thought he was connected to, his soulmate, was an undercover agent from Spirit Hall. He was heartbroken, bitter, and couldn't help but laugh at himself. Gu Han, the soul beast riot was your doing too, right? All this to get me alone with you so you could kill me? Probably. You're definitely not going to be Prince Xue Qinghe of the Tiandou Empire for much longer, anyway. Gu Han admitted. As he spoke, Xue Qinghe suddenly summoned his swan spirit, activating his spirit possession. He used his flying spirit skill, and a pair of snow-white wings burst from his back. Trying to run, Gu Han chuckled, unsurprised to see Xue Qinghe try to escape. He was a prince raised by the Tiandou royal family with the best education, gentle and refined, yes, but not a coward. Surrender was out of the question, but Gu Han was ready. Ice field. He unleashed his ice field in a flash of icy blue light, instantly engulfing Xue Qinghe. Then, he activated Ice Aura. With 2-realm difference in strength, the extreme cold instantly froze Xue Qinghe's legs, anchoring him to the ground. He couldn't fly, even with his wings spread. Xue Qinghe's face paled, his heart sinking. Was this it? Was he going to die here? Gu Han, finish him now before anything else happens. He's a good man, a true gentleman. If he wasn't the eldest prince, we could have been friends. But for Spirit Hall's grand plan, for the peace of the continent, for the future of countless people. To achieve our dreams with the least sacrifice, we have no other choice. Qian Renxue's eyes were conflicted as she looked at Xue Qinghe, walking closer as she spoke. Xue Qinghe only felt a surge of anger at her words. He didn't know anything about her ambition to unite the continent. He just knew that she wanted to kill him, and was using the peace of the continent and the future of countless people as an excuse. Hypocrite. But then Gu Han smiled. Actually, I've been thinking. We don't have to kill him. Xueer, all you really need is his identity. If we can change his identity, he can live out his days in peace somewhere else. Not killing him is okay. It'll make us feel better too. After all, His Highness is our friend. If we kill him, I think we'd both regret it. Gu Han sounded genuinely conflicted. He'd originally planned to kill Xue Qinghe, like Qian Renxue. He knew he'd feel guilty about it later, but now that he'd used the Tianyan system to deduce the heaven-bending and earth-strike great method through the yin-yang eyes of ice and fire, and found that it could alter memories, plus, the Danjing actually recorded a special elixir that could permanently change a person's appearance, he realized there was another way. He could change Xue Qinghe's memories using the heaven-bending and earth-strike great method, use the elixir to change his appearance, and then sneak him out of the hunting grounds with Douluo Bo's help and send him to a remote village. He could live out his days in peace. They were friends, and this was the best ending Gu Han could arrange. My identity. Hearing Gu Han say that Qian Renxue only needed his identity, Xue Qinghe was struck with sudden understanding. He finally understood Spirit Hall's goal. They wanted to replace him with Xueer and seize the throne. A wave of sadness and anger washed over him. He felt like he was betraying the Tiandou Empire. Gu Han's words only brought a wave of self-deprecating sarcasm. Spare me the hypocrisy, Gu Han. You want to steal my identity and take over our empire. You and Spirit Hall are evil, and you'll get what's coming to you. Don't think I'll be grateful just because you don't kill me. Xue Qinghe roared, venting his grief and anger. Gu Han shook his head, a complex mix of emotions in his eyes. Your Highness, we're not killing you, and we don't expect gratitude. It doesn't matter what you think. Our positions are just too different. Xueer and I just want to be able to live with ourselves. With that, Gu Han activated the heaven-bending and earth-strike great method, pulling Xue Qinghe into the illusion. He began to rewrite and reshape his memories. With such a gap in soul level, Xue Qinghe's memories were quickly changed from those of the eldest prince to an ordinary, honest boy from a remote village. Then, Gu Han pulled a small jade bottle from his Su Ming ring. Inside was a green, gel-like substance, like emerald. It was a special ointment he'd created using Yixin grass, a unique herb that grew near the yin-yang eyes of ice and fire, which could permanently alter a person's appearance. He extracted the ointment with his soul power and applied it to Xue Qinghe's face. Using his blood and qi, he began to reshape Xue Qinghe's features. Soon, his face looked like the honest boy from his modified memories. Finally, after Qian Renxue left the area, Gu Han took away Xue Qinghe's clothes, storage soul guides, and anything that could identify him as the prince, replacing them with simple country clothes. At that moment, Ziji arrived. Gu Han handed the unconscious Xue Qinghe to Ziji. He instructed him to quietly sneak him out of the royal hunting grounds. After Ziji left with Xue Qinghe, whose appearance and memories had been altered, Qian Renxue changed into Xue Qinghe's clothes and took his belongings, took a deep breath, and activated the camouflage skill from her angel soul bone. A golden light flashed. Qian Renxue's figure and appearance began to shift, instantly becoming an exact copy of Xue Qinghe. How do I look, brother Gu Han? Disguised as Xue Qinghe, she gave Gu Han a gentle smile, almost indistinguishable from the real thing. You're perfect, Xueer. Everything, her figure, her appearance, the way she smiled, the way she talked, all the small details, were exactly the same as Xue Qinghe. Gu Han was amazed. And with Qian Renxue disguised as Xue Qinghe, a new Xue Qinghe was born. Chapter 100, Soto City, Poultry Village. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After helping Qian Renxue successfully take Xue Qinghe's place, and with the royal hunting conference over, Gu Han got ready to continue his plan with Ziji. He was taking Douluo Bo to the Starry forest to hunt for his 9th soul ring. Once they arrived, Gu Han had Ziji scout ahead. Soon, they located a suitable soul beast for Douluo Bo's 9th ring, a powerful snake type with dragon blood, nearly 90,000 years old and on its last legs. But then, this purple nether demon snake actually sacrificed itself for Douluo Bo. He was beyond confused, not believing something like that could happen. Gu Han chuckled. It's probably because your martial soul evolved into a green phosphorus poison dragon. That's a sub-dragon type with really high dragon blood purity. The snake probably sensed it and chose to sacrifice itself. Douluo Bo still felt something was off, but without another explanation, he accepted it. After successfully finding De Gubo's 9th soul ring, they headed back towards Tiandou City. It just so happened to be the annual martial soul awakening day. Gu Han realized Tang San must be 6 years old and Ma Hongjun should be about the same age, meaning it was their year. Why not swing by Soto City and see if I can find Ma Hongjun? He thought. It's on the way, after all. So, passing through Soto City, Gu Han told De Gubo to go on ahead to Tiandou City, and went with Ziji to Soto City's Martial Soul Hall. As the second largest city in the Barak Kingdom, Soto City's Martial Soul Hall was imposing, sprawling, and lavishly decorated. Sunlight glinted off the ornate dome. Halt! Who goes there? Before Gu Han and Ziji reached the entrance, 2 guards shouted, spears crossed, blocking their path. Gu Han just smiled faintly, producing the Pope's order Bibi Dong had given him when he'd expressed interest in the Spirit Hall's library. I'm Gu Han, a disciple of the Pope. This is my proof. Let the Hall Master know I'm here. The guards were skeptical after hearing this and taking the Pope's order. Still, the thought that someone would impersonate a Pope's disciple just to meet the Hall Master of Soto City's Martial Soul Hall seemed unlikely. Please wait here while we inform the Hall Master. One guard hurried inside with the Pope's order to find the head of Soto City's Spirit Hall. Soon, rapid footsteps echoed from within. The guard emerged, followed by a tall, burly middle-aged man in a golden robe, with golden, curly hair and a commanding presence. He rushed forward, holding the Pope's order respectfully, bowing slightly to Gu Han. Cook, reporting. I didn't realize His Royal Highness, the Son of God, was coming. I apologize for the lack of welcome. I hope you'll forgive me. Son of God. I'm just a disciple of the Pope. I'm not the Spirit Hall's Son of God, Gu Han said with a chuckle. Surprised Cook, the Hall Master, would call him that. Your Royal Highness is joking. Cook replied. You're the Pope's disciple. While I don't know your name, we Hall Masters away from headquarters know the Pope has 2 outstanding disciples, 1 male and 1 female. As disciples of the Pope, you are naturally the son and daughter of our Spirit Hall. Cook said earnestly, though Gu Han saw a hunger for advancement in his eyes. Gu Han smiled and didn't push the point. Let's go inside. I need your help. Under Cook's obsequious guidance, Gu Han and Ziji entered Soto City's Martial Soul Hall. Gu Han explained he wanted to know which villages around Soto City were known for avian martial souls, explaining that he wanted to help with the martial soul awakenings. Cook was baffled. What was the Pope's disciple planning? Was this some kind of grassroots experience for their hall deacon, or could this disciple of His Holiness foresee the future, knowing a genius would appear in a village of avian martial spirits? He dismissed the latter thought as funny, as no martial soul could predict the future. The probability of a genius soul master appearing in an ordinary village was less than 1 in 10 million, but Gu Han was the Pope's disciple. To please him and maybe get a boost, Cook immediately had his staff find information about the villages around Soto City, looking for ones with a high number of awakened poultry martial spirits. Soon, they narrowed it down to 3 villages: White Bird Village, Poultry Village, and Mingfeng Village. The village Ma Hongjuan's in usually awakens poultry martial souls, right? It must be Poultry Village. Gu Han recalled his past life, thinking it over and quickly deciding on the most likely target. He planned to visit Poultry Village first, and then White Bird and Mingfeng Village, if needed. The next day, Gu Han and Ziji left Soto City, heading straight for Poultry Village. Poultry Village was a very ordinary village around Soto City. The villagers generally awaken poultry-type martial souls like chickens, ducks, and geese, hence the name. In the early morning, village chief Old Tom knocked on doors, rousing families with children about to awaken their martial souls. Wake up! Wake up, everyone! Old Tom leaned on his cane, rapping on the doors and urging them in his old voice. The master from the Spirit Hall will be here soon. Get the children ready and wait in front of the Spirit Hall in the village. Don't make the master wait too long. Spurred by Old Tom, the families rushed to get their children out of bed and sent them to the Spirit Hall.
before long, two figures appeared in the distance, flying swiftly overhead. They landed in front of Poultry Village's Martial Soul Hall. It was Gu Han and Zi Ji,